Hi guys, how are you doing? Today I'm going to be sharing with you an income report for December 2021. I know that not everyone likes income reports, but for me it's something that really inspired me when I got started, and I'm not sure I would have even started, to be honest, if it wasn't for some of the really inspirational income reports that I saw when I was just getting started. It seemed like more of a possibility when I could see what other people were doing. And I think that's quite important. So I'm not doing it just to show off and say, wow, how much money that I've made. This has taken me a couple of years, but it's taken me a lot longer than that in reality, because I have actually been making money online for a long time now, not just with KDP. It did take a lot of time and a lot of effort to get to this point. In any case, if you're not into income reports, then this video is not for you. Okay, so all right, let's just get into it, shall we? So how was December? Well, December was actually my highest ever month so far, but it wasn't my highest month by a huge amount. And actually, it wasn't that much higher than November 2021. And this is really very similar to the previous year, because my December also wasn't that much higher than my November. So you might be wondering, well, why in my case is December not that much higher than my November? Well, there are a couple of main reasons that I think that that's the case. The first reason, I think, is that a lot of my best-selling books that sell the most are not actually gift-related. They can be given as gift, and I'm sure they are given as gifts, but they aren't typically what you might buy someone as a gift. Also, I don't create that many gift related books either. I do have some, and actually one of my plans is I am going to create some more of those, because I think it is quite nice to have that bit of a jump in December. While I still do have that, I think that it would be interesting to see how much higher my sales could be if I did have more of a gift related base as well. If you look at any of my reports, it says I have 544 books, but that is actually the amount of books that have ever been published on KDP for me. As far as actually live and published now, there are 520 books that are live and available to buy on Amazon. In comparison to many other people who maybe have several thousand books, you can see why maybe that jump wouldn't be as much, especially if I don't have a huge amount of gift-related books. But I do have to say, I did create some gift-related books earlier in the year, and at first they did not sell at all. They didn't sell all year, and then all of a sudden in November and December, especially in December actually, they started selling. So I started getting some books just selling that had never sold before. So I guess that shows that it's not too late. You know, you can definitely still create books that don't have reviews, and they're still going to sell. So yeah, December was still my best month ever so far, and it wasn't by a massive amount, which you'll see in a second. So in total in December, I made $8,753, and that was with 520 books. Like I said, it says 544 here, but that's not the amount that's actually live. And you can see it was kind of a bit up and down, but quite steady really, until, of course, Christmas Day. So Christmas Day, you don't get sales. All our books don't register as a sale until the book is shipped, and Amazon do not ship on Christmas Day on the 25th. Also, the 24th tends to be pretty low, as you can see, and then it kind of just, you know, Boxing Day will pick it up, and then it'll gradually get up again. So my highest day in December was $540, and that was on the 15th of December. So that was a pretty good day. And then obviously I had nothing on Christmas Day. Boxing Day was $77, so that was my second lowest day. And then New Year's Eve as well was quite low. That was on $88. But aside from that, all the other days were fairly high. I mean, they're kind of around the $300 mark. through most of it, apart from the odd bigger day. But I didn't have any incredibly, ridiculous days that some people do towards the end. And again, I think that is because I don't have these big gift related books necessarily. I mean, I do quite like that fact, because it means that I do have quite a stable income throughout the year, and there aren't any huge lows or massive highs in the same way. It's just more steady, and I do like that. Of course, it would be nice to have some of these crazy Q4 days as well. Not that I'm complaining, of course, like $540 a day is amazing. Obviously, I'm really happy about that. So by comparison, I wanted to show you December 2020. So that was last December. I made $4,600, and obviously this December that's $4,000 more than I made last December. So to be able to double the income from last December is really great. And I didn't create a huge amount of books this year, so I am going to be trying to do more over the course of this year and see where that takes me. I'm interested in doing some different types of books as well this time. I'd like to do some kind of higher content, maybe some children's books, children's picture books. Also, I'm thinking about doing some more activity books maybe, and then also a lot more gift related books. Anyway, last year you can see similarly there was no sales on December the 25th, and my highest day was a bit under $350, it seemed, and kind of had a similar pattern. So January 2020 was a surprise, because I made more in January than I did in December, which was just like totally bizarre. I didn't expect that at all. I think because everyone says, oh, January, once it's Q1, your sales will go down. But actually, that did not happen to me. And I'd had this weird day in January, which was January the 14th, where I made over $1,000 in a day. And maybe there was a bit of a reporting delay or something, which has happened before as well, a couple of times. So yeah, that can happen, and then they kind of catch up and you have this big day. That being said, I remember I asked some people on Facebook whether they'd had a big jump, and I don't think they had. So I don't know, it was a mystery, but there you go. Back in my first year as well, January was also similar to my first ever December. So in my first ever December, I made close to 1,000, and it was the same, I think, in January. That seems to be the pattern for me for some reason. I will have to see how close this January is to December. I'm really not sure yet. It started off a bit lower in January for me this year, but now it started to go up a lot. I had a couple of really good days recently, including today so far, so we'll have to wait and see with that one. So did I have any surprises this Q4? Well, I did actually. The main thing was that I'd created a book that was in a really competitive niche. I did it because I wanted to see if I could get sales just from using ads. I first created this book earlier in the year, and I run some ads to it, and it did start selling. And during that time, I think I got about 6 reviews, something like that, in time for Q4. Then I ran ads throughout Q4. I didn't go crazy with it. The ACOS for that particular campaign in the US was 20, so that was good. It was a profitable campaign. That book, I think, was in my top 10 for December, so it wasn't sort of the main ones at all, but it was still in the top 10. Considering that's a book I kind of launched in a really competitive area, like ridiculously oversaturated, I'm not kidding. The fact I could still generate sales with ads for that book, and then generate reviews, and then actually manage to have a profitable campaign in December was really, really interesting to me. So this is another thing that I'm going to definitely go into more in this year. I'm going to try and create some books in some really oversaturated areas and see if I can get them ranked and get some reviews on them in time for the next Q4. Everything else went pretty much as I expected, apart from that I did have some books just start selling that I hadn't sold at all before. I mean, never before. Some of these books were ones that weren't even from last year. If you've got enough books in your catalogue, you will randomly start getting sales on books that you've never had before. And with any luck, This will actually give them a kind of new life, because you'll start getting sales with them, and then you'll get reviews, and that will push them up into the following year. I've also found that some books that became some of my bestsellers in 2021 that I either created at the end of 2020 or at the beginning of 2021, there are a few that I created that became a couple of my best-selling books now. And because of Q4, of course, you get a huge amount of sales and you get a huge amount of reviews. So these books have really been boosted up, and now they're really starting to sell in January. The good thing about January is that people everywhere give Amazon gift cards as presents, and you can imagine the amount of people that get Amazon gift cards as their present. So in January, people are buying gifts for themselves, and that can really give you a boost if any of your books could be maybe about fitness, maybe about diets, maybe about new beginnings, starting afresh and that kind of thing. Motivational type books, goal planning. If you have any books in those kind of niches, they're going to do incredibly well in January, especially if you've managed to get some really decent reviews of those books over the Q4 period. So what about ads? Dun 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 dun. People are always asking about ads, of course, because I know there's the idea that some people only get profit because they spent a gazillion dollars on ads, and that's not the case for me. So I thought I would cover that in this video right now. So my ads are all here. So I did run them in the US, in Canada, and in the UK. And they started off quite well, but especially the UK went downhill. So I'll start with USA. I spent $171 and my ACOS was 27. Now, because there is a VAT charge that's 20%, this is about breaking even for me in the US. So that's not brilliant, but it's okay, because the thing is, when you run ads, not only do you get sales from the ad, but your organic sales also go up. It's a kind of weird thing. I don't have all the answers here, but that seems to be the case. And that is definitely the case from how I've tested it. Usually I've turned off the ad. It depends, sometimes they'll carry on making sales, but not as many as they did before when I had the ad. And it doesn't kind of correlate with the amount of sales I've got with the ad. So it's odd. Yeah, so the ACOS for the US was 27.51%, and yeah, it wasn't brilliant, but it's okay. In Canada, the ACOS was 21.58, and that is still profitable no matter what the VAT. So with the VAT on top, that was still profitable for me for this. So that was 85 Canadian dollars. And then in the UK, the ACOS was 33, which wasn't very good. It was fine at first, but I had one campaign just kind of go off scale towards the end of the month, and it just wrecked it. So some of the campaigns were profitable and some weren't, but overall that meant that it wasn't. So it was slightly unprofitable. When you break it down, the amount of profit that I've really got, or not, the amount of sales I've got from these ads is nothing in comparison to the amount that I've actually made. So most of my sales are organic. The ads that I'm running, it's more like an experiment at the moment. They just add a little bit of a boost, and I only run ads on a small number. I do tend to run them now on new books, but I don't always keep it going. Often, sometimes it doesn't work or whatever, and I turn off. And I also run group ads with groups of books that are in the same niche. You can make money on KDP without ads. Ads are something that I definitely want to improve on. I could be spending more money here and making more, but I've been doing it for about a year, and I just like to spend a small amount. Some of the campaigns I've got, I've been running a long time, and they tend to be fairly steady, but then you'll get a month like December and things just go completely crazy. So you have to keep a track on things. So my total ad spend was around $373, and then I add 20% VAT on that. So in total, it was $447. And unless you're registered for VAT, you do need to take into account that 20% VAT, because it's added to your ad spend. And I don't know why, but not that many people seem to talk about this. 20% is a lot. So you need to figure out your ACOS in relation to that. My only other expenses are the tools that I use, and I link to those in my blog, so I'll link to that down below. So in total, if we want to add it up, it's about $8,753, and then we subtract $100 for tools, $447 for ads, and that comes to around $8,200. Now, obviously, I don't take that home. I have to pay my taxes, but still, that's a really good result. So do let me know in the comments how your Q4 was. Was it better than you expected? Was it worse? And also, how are you expecting January to go for you? How is it for you already? Are you seeing that you're getting more sales than you expected? Or is it lower than you thought? Let me know in the comments. Also, just before I go, I wanted to mention I do have a low content publishing mini course. It's just a free mini course download that can show you how to get started on KDP if you're not sure and you've no idea how to get started. And you can download that in the link below this video and also on my blog. So that's about it for today. I really hope that this was helpful to you. Do let me know if you have any questions. And thank you very much for watching. I will speak to you again soon.